You talk about the, Shelby Forest click and your demo tape, catching the ear of Juicy J and DJ Paul of 3 6 Mafia. When they signed you, I take it you were what? Not even 18 years old, maybe?
I was 17. My parents had to sign my contract.
Wow. What was that?
It was awesome because like, it was so cool because here are these two fucking adults, these parents, that when they first heard Slob on My Knob, they lost it. And, they broke so many CDs and cassettes of mine. Like, because growing up, I always had, like, I was the kid that would, like, go around the neighborhood, riding my bike, and if I saw a yard sale and it'd be some old lady selling some old Technique speakers, I'd go back to my house and be like, Dad, can I please have $10? I got to get these speakers. You're like, what the fuck you need more speakers for? I was so young and stupid. I didn't realize that it wasn't going to be louder. I needed a bigger receiver. You know what I mean? Like now that I'm older, it's like I had literally like 12 speakers on this little boom box, all cross-wired together. And it was a fire hazard. Now that I look back, it was a big fire hazard. But my dad, being like heat and air conditioning guy, he would come in there and he'd give me the little twist things that you put on the ends of the wires, the little covers, and he'd come in there like, here, put these damn things on so you don't set my damn house on fire. But it was just funny because I was able to, go home and be like, all right, Mom, Dad, look, I'm going to need y'all to come to the studio and meet 3 6 Mafia. And here are these parents that's, broken so many CDs. And now I'm having to introduce them to the source, of where this shit comes from. And they fell in love with Paul and Juicy. And Paul and Juicy fell in love with my parents. And there were days, bro, when I would get to the studio some days, and we always had to be in the studio at 5:00 because the studio used to be down on Washington Avenue behind 201 Poplar, which to the people listening, 201 Poplar is our jail and our courthouse. So we were very close by a bunch of police officers, and that always tripped me out, the location we were at. And later on in the years, I asked Paul, like, what made y'all get a spot right there? Because like all of us would always get pulled over or something on the way home.
Right.
Paul was like, it was for protection. Mostly he was like, I wanted somewhere where if something popped off and if something happened, we were close to some, and even still to this day, like we got a bunch of our homies that are police officers, sheriffs, I know a couple of the county clerks. Like we got people in our crew and then our family members that are, law enforcement. So we always called the right people. We wouldn't finna just call 911. We would call Big Joey or whatever, and Joey would show up, 10 motherfuckers ready to go. But there was days when I would pull up to the studio. Like I said, we had to be there at 5 because it was law office. It was actually like attorney offices underneath us. So we had to wait till they left every day at 5. And then we would start, crank the studio up around 6. So I would pull up in the parking lot and there would be my dad's truck just sitting there. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing here? And I'd go in and my dad would be sitting on the couch watching the fucking game, drinking beer, smoking weed with the guys. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing here? He's like, they told me I'm welcome whenever I want. So I just stop in on my way home from work and have a beer with Paul. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me you done got cool with these motherfuckers? You're now friends with people you hated at one point. And, when my dad passed away in 2008, it really messed Paul up and Juicy because they were really tight with my dad. Like they really gotten real close. Like I said, there would be days when I would call Paul, like, what are you doing? He's like, man, running to the store with your pops. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's so awesome.
It's just like the thought of seeing DJ Paul with all his ice on and tattoos, jumping out of a Ford F-150 with this old white guy. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, oh, that's Lil Wyte's dad. He's cool. But man, when he passed, man, like Paul called me and he was like, hey man, I'm really sorry to hear about your father. He had lost his father and his mom. So he already knew what I was going through. And he just stepped up, man. He was just like, look, he's like, from now on, anything you need, you call me. He's like, I'll never be your father, but I'll be dad for the rest of your life. He's like, I can never walk in that man's shoes. He's like, but I'll be here for you mentally, emotionally, and physically. He was like, now financially, you got to figure that shit out. He's like, ain't no handouts around here. You make your money, I'll make mine, but I'm here for what you need morally. And that's what I wanted more than anything. It's like, even now, me and him were talking the other day, and I was like, we've known each other 20 years now. And I was like, if you'd have told me when I was 14, 15 years old that, I'd be able to just call Paul at 2:00 in the morning on a Wednesday and he answers immediately. Like, what's up, son? You good? You all right? Everything straight? And that's, that's comforting to me because like he's always been there. Dude's always had my back. And I look at Juicy like a cool ass uncle, but I look at Paul like a father figure. You know what I'm saying? But Juicy's just always in the air, in the wind, gone, doing his thing. And Paul always, he always makes sure he checks up on me on a regular. You know what I'm saying? Juicy checks up on me all the time too, but like Paul's really consistent with it. Shout out Paul, dude.